When visitors come to town, one place Las Crucens always take them to see is the nearby town of Mesilla. Why? We'll tell you. I'm Bud Russo.
And I'm Cheryl Falstead, and we'll be your guides as we explore both the past and present of Mesilla. What draws visitors to Mesilla today? Much of the attraction is how modern Mesilla reflects its past. The town is centered on the old plaza, which is bordered on the north by the Basilica of San Albino and surrounded by buildings that look much as they did when Billy the Kid, Roy Bean, and Pat Garrett strolled these sidewalks.
The area where Mesilla now stands was first visited by nomadic Indian tribes, then Spaniards such as Juan de Oñate, who traveled through the area in 1598, exploring the route along the Rio Grande as he led 500 settlers to northern New Mexico.
But there was no village of Mesilla until after the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, which ended the Mexican-American War and gave land that had been Mexico to the United States. The disputed issue of whether Mesilla was in the United States or Mexico was resolved with the Gadsden Purchase, when the United States purchased land from Mexico that is now southwestern New Mexico and southern Arizona. The purchase was commemorated with a ceremony on the Mesilla Plaza, shown here in a painting by Albert Fountain Jr.
It may surprise you to learn that Mesilla Plaza and New Mexico were occupied by the Confederate Army from July 1861 until March 1862. The Confederate flag waved over their headquarters, where today's Fountain Theater is located on Calle de Guadalupe.
Mesilla was the largest community in the area until 1881, when the town leaders turned down the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad's request to have the tracks come through Mesilla. The leaders of then smaller Las Cruces leapt at the opportunity and welcomed the railroad with open arms. From that time, Mesilla lost its place as the county seat and stayed a smaller community, retaining its historic flavor.
When the West was still wild, outlaws such as Billy the Kid, Nicholas Provencio, and Dutch Hubert were known to visit the bars and dances in Mesilla. In fact, Billy the Kid was sentenced to death by hanging in Mesilla in 1881. He escaped his sentence by escaping his jail cell.
Another well-known name in Western lore is Judge Roy Bean, who was portrayed by Paul Newman in the film The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. Turns out he, his father, and brother owned a saloon on the plaza where El Patio is today.
You may have heard of World War II hero General Douglas MacArthur. His father served as a military commander at Fort Selden, not far from here, while Douglas was a youngster. And they certainly visited Mesilla too.
If you want to know more about the history of Mesilla, stop by the Gadsden Museum, which is operated by a family that has lived here for 8 generations.
The plaza, then and now, serves as the heart of the town. Newer buildings have spread out from its center, but community events are always held at the plaza today, as they were in the late 1800s.
The plaza is anchored by the San Albino Basilica. This lovely church is actually the third San Albino's in Mesilla. It was elevated to a basilica in 2008. It is open for visitors, and often a docent is available to talk about the history of the building.
Mesilla rolls out the welcome mat for revelers to enjoy events such as Cinco de Mayo, the Border Book Festival, 16 de Septiembre, Dia de los Muertos, and Christmas Eve, with caroling lit by hundreds of luminarias.
Shopping for great jewelry and souvenirs is a popular activity in Mesilla. Stores around and near the plaza fill spaces that once served as homes or businesses. If you're looking for a tasty treat, try the Chocolate Lady, Heart of the Desert wine and pistachios, vintage wine, Stallman's pecans, or for a variety of gourmet New Mexico foods, Solamente in the Don Felix Plaza.
If you're shopping for something a little more permanent to remember your visit, Del Sol has fine silver and turquoise jewelry, clothing, and home decor. The Silversmith Inc., El Platero, is just down the street and offers both fine silver and delicious fudge and ice cream. Silver Assets on Calle de Santiago has a wide variety of beautiful silver items. Thunderbird is located in the oldest documented brick building in New Mexico with a long and interesting history.
Nambe is a company with deep New Mexican roots. They sell designer home products made from a special 8-metal alloy developed by a metallurgist who had worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory and created in a foundry now located in Santa Fe. They also offer crystal, dinnerware, and flatware.
There are many more fine shops in and around the Mesilla Plaza. Whether you're looking for jewelry, home decor with a southwestern flair, fine art, or just a fun t-shirt, you're bound to find it in Mesilla.
If you're hungry, fear not. Restaurants ring the plaza, including historic sites such as La Posta de Mesilla, which was once a Butterfield stage station, and the Double Eagle, the oldest building on the plaza. You can also try Emilia's or Josefina's Old Gate Cafe, next door to Josefina's Historical Inn, just north of the plaza past the Basilica. If you'd like to duck inside and enjoy a film, the Mesilla Valley Film Society screens a weekly feature at the historic Fountain Theater each evening at 7:30 and Sunday afternoons at 2:30, along with a special Saturday Cinematinee feature at 1:30 p.m. While you're shopping, be sure to notice the buildings you're visiting. At the Silversmith, for example, you'll see that the building has an Italianate bracketed stamped metal storefront, which came from a mail-order catalog. While these were popular in the Old West, few were left, and this is the only one in Mesilla.
In fact, one of the historic homes in Mesilla will eventually be open to visitors. Retired educator and state legislator J. Paul Taylor and his late wife Mary have donated their lovely home, built in 1850, to become the Taylor Barella Reynolds Mesilla State Monument. This is one of the best examples of historic restoration in the state.
Twice a week, the plaza is home to the Mercado, an open-air market showcasing local arts and produce, Fridays and Sundays from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. But there is more to Mesilla than the plaza. The Mesilla Visitor Center on Highway 28 is a great place to start your visit. You can park your car in the convenient lot and walk to the plaza after you get information about the town from a helpful volunteer. All along Avenida de Mesilla, the main street, which is also New Mexico Highway 28, you'll discover great places to explore.
You can find Mexican pottery and decor at Casa Bonita, chili ristras and decorative items at Ristaman, delicious food and wines at St. Clair Bistro and Winery, satisfying meals at the several outstanding Mexican restaurants, coffee, meals, and pastries at the Bean Coffee Shop and Restaurant, men's attire at Kaya's, and even motorcycles at Barnett Harley-Davidson.
Don't pass up side streets, such as Calle de Mercado, that lead you to places such as the Preston Contemporary Art Center, Lorenzo's Ristorante Italiano, Emerald Isle Boutique and Gallery, and Las Cosas Kitchen Shop.
While the Preston, which also houses the Mesilla Digital Imaging Workshops, is the largest gallery in the area, it isn't the only one. Los Artesanos Gallery is located in the old tortilla factory at the corner of Avenida de Mesilla and Calle de Parian. And just catty-corner from there is Charles Inc. You'll also find Art Galaxy, a nonprofit art co-op on Avenida de Mesilla near Calle de Parian. The Potteries is another place to visit, as is the Mesilla Valley Fine Arts Gallery, another cooperative.
Whether you are interested in history, shopping, art, or good food, you'll find it all in Mesilla. Be sure to include a visit while you're exploring Las Cruces.
This podcast was sponsored by the Las Cruces Convention and Visitors Bureau
And produced by Explore New Mexico.